you believe in love at first sight?
I have never been more serious in my life.
Have you been drinking?
Don't say hate.
Somebody call 911.
Guys, I just ran over a cat.
It isn't a lie if you believe it.
Garlic Dance. For 8 years, this film festival has been a staple of our family and shows no sign of slowing. But how did it get started? I sat down with the filmmakers of the first Garlic Dance to find my answer.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. 'Cause your friends don't dance.
I had nothing to do with it.
I have no idea.
It was an idea that we had after Kirsten, who was living in Oregon, made a little home movie.
I think it was 2004. Kirsten was living up in the Portland area, and she got this off-the-wall idea, no script, nothing. It was based on the fact that she had seen this big banana slug in their backyard and videotaped it, and when she showed it on the TV screen, it looked huge.
So I got out the video camera and I started filming it, and then I started filming it really close and realized it looked like those old 1950s B movies like Night of the Lepus, where there was or Attack the Giant Spider or whatever they're called, and it looked like a scary movie monster, and it inspired me to make a film with my cousins called Have Fear.
When she came and visited our family in Utah over Christmas, she brought the movie with her. And she showed it to all of us, and we all thought it was great. And Rod especially went nuts over it, saying that he would like to redo it because he thought that he could add some special effects and make it better.
So we were just talking about how funny it was and how clever and it would be funny to take that idea and to really do a serious movie, because she was just kind of goofing around.
He's like, well, there's all these things that you could do differently. And I said, yeah, there's things I'd like to change. And he's like, well, you should do it this way. And I said, well, I want to do it this way.
And when he started talking about that, Kirsten started saying, well, if you're gonna, like, you shouldn't redo it. I want to redo it.
And it turned into, hey, let's both make a remake or a film like this.
And someone said, I think it might have been Jared, but I don't remember for sure who it was, said, well, we should all do our own version of it.
And I think the early assumption was that since it was based on Kirsten's original Giant Slugs from Outer Space film, that would be what everybody worked around.
So the idea started to be like, okay, well, we're going to have a ton of these slug movies. What if we figure out a way to genericize it a little bit? And so we came up with the whole Mad Libs type idea where we pulled out all the kind of proper nouns and a few of the verbs.
There were 5 films the first year, and every one of them had a different genre and plot line to it.
And that turned into Garlic Dance.
Bad Poncho by Rod Garlick was the first film shown at Garlic Dance 1.
I loved the fact that he did something around kids and that involved kids. That was the other thing that impressed me, was that let me know right away that this was something that could involve members of the family in multiple generations.
I thought it was very cute with the cute little Platt kids, and he did a really good job.
They're my kids, so it was freaking awesome.
And I loved it.
Nothing but praise.
Bad Poncho is another one of the goofy little ones, but it's really funny. It still cracks me up.
I've always done movies. I've done movies since I was in high school, and I find it very creative and very rewarding. It wasn't so much of an idea as it was a desperate move, because I was running out of time. I didn't have the wherewithal. I was borrowing a camera from a guy, and so I just said, okay, what can I do with these little kids using the same script? Regret about it? Yeah, I would have wanted to do a lot more things. I didn't use any kind of a shot list or any kind of a storyboard, and so there were several elements that were missing, several scenes, and I just had to kind of improvise once I got into the editing room.
Next was Fair Trade, directed by Steve Glavin.
Well, I was there for quite a bit of the filming of Fair Trade, and I thought it was very Glavin-esque.
There were a lot of trains.
I was impressed that they would just do so much in public.
And it was probably his weakest entry ever, and he learned a ton from it, you can tell, because his next year he ramped it up huge. I thought it was very, very interesting and very creative. That was the whole thing. It was so interesting to see how everyone was using the same idea and the same script.
I grew up always wanting to make home movies into a production, and going way back, when I was in junior high school and I'd borrow my dad's 8mm, wind-up 8mm movie camera, and no sound with it, so making silent films. And so the idea of actually putting something together and being able to show it to other people and put it in a venue where other people were trying to do the same thing, I was excited from the outset. And so part of it came out of desperation to just put something together, but part of it came out of a love that I have for the kind of Monty Python-esque vignette humor. The things that we were doing were just the kind of theater of the absurd types of things that Monty Python might do, and that's where that idea came from. I wanted to do something that would just be a laugh to put together and hopefully a laugh to watch. It wasn't working as well visually when we started playing it back as I originally wanted it to be, and it was once again a throwback to the kind of British approach to visual humor that Monty Python and others have used. It was an afterthought that ended up being a good choice.
The third film that year was Kirsten Harris's remake of Have Fear.
Scary as slug in it. I'm afraid of slugs. I stepped on one once in my bare feet.
I thought Have Fear was great. Yeah, I don't know what there is to say about it. It was good.
Kirsten's was a remake of her Slug movie, and I thought she did a really good job. It was real fun.
I thought it was an interesting approach on her part, because the easy way out for Kirsten could have been to try to simply recreate the film that she had made the year before that kind of prompted all of this. And the fact that she took an entirely different approach, I thought was a lot of fun.
I'd never made a movie. I'd done some things for school and I'd made some short like family videos, but I'd never actually made a movie before. The character that Steve played in the Garlic Dance version of Have Fear was actually the instructor of the girls in the original film. Based on the script, I needed to make him an antagonist rather than the character he'd played before. And also with the original film, the girls and Steve, I just said, okay, here's what I want to see in this scene. Go. And it was completely ad-libbed. There was no script whatsoever. I liked the movie Rose Red. That's a Stephen King made-for-TV. Bad, not really scary, but fun to watch and be silly with. And one of the characters was named Emery. And so when we decided we needed to name the slug, Emery was the name that we chose.
Kathy Garlick and Corey Platt's film, The Other, was next.
The Other was the beginning of a genre, the Kathy Corey genre of film, which does not fit into any other genre except of itself.
Oh, I thought it was just typical Corey and Kathy, just craziness.
Oh, I thought it was amazing. I was so impressed that they came up with the idea, because they kind of threw theirs together last minute.
Kathy and Corey consistently make films that just make you want to laugh so hard that you pee your pants.
My shame.
Stop.
It was all about my shame. Most of our ideas come from my shame.
Here's the truth. I worked for a year when I was newly married in like a nursing home kind of a thing. I was a ward clerk. And I would hear in one of the rooms down the hall this one old woman, and there were two voices that would come out of her room. It turned out it was both the voices were her. She would be like, oh now let's go have lunch. Shut up, I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna eat you for supper. Rod didn't know we were making a movie. I just decided that we were going to have a movie, and we were going to make a movie, and so I asked Jared if he would film it, and so we couldn't do it here, so I just told Rod that Jared wanted us, I don't remember what the story was exactly, that I had to go with Jared, needed me to help him do something, and so then we went down and spent the whole evening at Corey's making the movie because we couldn't do it here.
Warriors of Light, directed by Jared Garlick, was the final film that year. It was also the first film to be awarded the Emery.
He's the one that, right from the beginning, kind of led the way as, all right, you know, really pushing the envelope and really kind of thinking, okay, we can really do something interesting here.
He was the one who pioneered with his first film with Warriors of Light, the idea of taking some of the lines that were scripted and breaking them up between characters or combining lines between characters in a way that you could change the meaning.
That was awesome. Of course, Jared goes above and beyond.
Very funny. To this day, still one of my favorites. It was good.
It was good.
I have no idea. I remember filming it, I remember editing it, doing all the special effects. I have zero memory of the planning process of Warriors of Light. It was pretty funny when we very first got to Preston's house. He didn't know what the movie was. He just knew that I was making a movie and he was just all excited to be in a movie. And so I told him, this is what the movie is, and I kind of explained to him, you know, they're ninjas, and he kind of thought about it and went, okay. And he went back to his room and I didn't know what was going on. I was just sitting there waiting for other people to show up. And he came back a few minutes later dressed the way he was dressed in the movie, wearing the tank top and the headband and armbands and all that stuff. And he's just like, this is how a ninja dresses, and he was ready to go. I regret the set, or where we filmed it. It was the first time I'd made a movie and didn't really think about a lot of it. So we filmed a lot of it just in people's backyards, and so in one of the scenes early on you see like neighbors out doing gardening in the background while the ninjas are apparently off going to do some quest. That was pretty hokey.
With these 5 films, Garlic Dance was born. But how was it decided to make it an annual event?
Everyone enjoyed it so much they said, let's do it again next year.
And Rod made another script, and so we went with it.